that she's right, like it or not. So enjoy the ride, take what she's got, 'cause it's a long way to go if you wanna ride with Mom. Just enjoy the ride.
Hey, this is Vashti with Vashti's House, and this is a mom talk. I don't know what number, but I'm actually sitting in a parking lot because I'm getting ready to go in and do a class, do a training at the hospital. But I was thinking about something recently, and I thought I would share it because it's just something that's been on my mind. But, you know, in the complexities of life, it's really, really hard to know what to focus on when there's so much going on in terms of long-term health and wellness. And there's so many things we can do. And I know a lot of times we focus on eating right and exercising and imagine that that is going to be the main thing that keeps us well and healthy over time. But it's actually not. And I'm going to tell you the secret to long-term health and wellness, greater than anything, the most important thing you can do to manage your long-term health and wellness and the longevity, not only the longevity of your life, but the value, but not the value, but the quality of your life long-term. And that is how you internally process. How you internally process what's going on around you, your world, experiences, circumstances, is the single most important factor for whether you are living, actively creating a toxic environment in your body or actively keeping your internal self irrigated, cleaned out, healthy. Think of the difference between a lake that has rivers coming in and rivers going out. And it's going to be much more filtered. It's going to be much healthier versus a swamp that's just sitting there with the dead stuff and probably not something that you want to drink or even get in. And your internal self, if you are processing things in such a way that adds more toxic stress into your life, then you are creating an environment inside of you that even if you eat healthy, your digestive system can't digest the food well. Even if you are exercising, living with toxic stress or internal toxic environment, even if you're exercising, your body is actively being broken down when you're not exercising. So you're literally fighting against yourself. When we live in unforgiveness, when we live in fear, when we live in doubt, when we live in insecurities and our lack of self-confidence, fear of our own abilities, incompetence, fear of being incompetent, fear of being found out, fear of exposure. If we live, angry at our past, bitter, afraid of the future, all of those things create a toxic environment. If we had maybe you had one incident that happened in, in elementary school, somebody called you a name, but that's been a thing that you have been perseverating on for decades. Or maybe you had an extremely abusive and neglectful childhood, and that's what you perseverate and focus on in the day-to-day. Regardless of whether it's one incident or horrific experiences, what you meditate on, what you focus on is actively creating a self that is either being healed and kept alive and kept on the growth trajectory, or you're actively creating a self that is actively and quickly degenerating. And so when you go through life, the healthiest thing you can do is contextualize every single thing in a way that is going to protect your value, in a way that is going to help you see a bigger picture, process things in a way that is going to benefit you, give you information that you need to move forward, process things in a way that is going to let you off the hook from anger and bitterness. So including forgiveness, focusing on strengths, your own strengths, focusing on your potential, your capacity, your abilities, focusing on the fact that you can learn, that you can grow, focusing on the pleasant people in your life, engaging in more intentionally in your positive experiences and not perseverating on the negative. All of those things, it's literally a mental switch. And once you make that switch, it's amazing how your brain will begin to accommodate for that mental switch. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those things on Instagram or whatever. Well, they'll show a bunch of words, and they're not really words. They're letters mixed in it, but immediately your brain can start reading them because your brain just fills in the blanks. Once you get in the trajectory of thinking everything through the lens of positive, realistic, but positive, it will be muscle memory like that. Suddenly the world will be you'll be able to more quickly and more efficiently process the world in a way that it's going to bring you health and wholeness over your lifespan. And we know now that if your toxic internal self if you stay that way throughout your lifetime, then it adds to lifetime disease, diseases in your, like Alzheimer's, dementia, autoimmune diseases, and those kinds of things. I mean, it literally physically has a negative impact on your body, not only your mental health and relationships, everything. So look more into that, research that more, watch more Mom Talks, just pay more attention to that and see if that makes a difference in your life. I promise you it will make a difference in your life long term. And once you get used to it, you won't want to go back. This is Vashti coming to you from Vashti's house. Hope you're having a great day and make yourself at home.